Hey everybody, how you doing? Let's have a beer. Hope you had a great week. Wearing my Tampa Bay Lightning shirt tonight. Go Bolts! Hockey may be back. Maybe back in a Stanley Cup revised, smaller version. So we're excited about that. Go Bolts! They will be a part of that. And thanks for joining us tonight. What you drinking? How about a Blue Moon? Need to support our Florida citrus farmers. We love you. Samantha's checking in. Thank you for checking in. We appreciate that. Go ahead and comment. We any questions or comments tonight? We've got a great show lined up for you. We've got some barbecue tips coming up with our friend Chad Ward. Crazy Terry, the rumor is she's going to join us, and she has some things to say about roads in Lakeland, so you don't want to miss that. And then we have a great performance by our friend Jacob Brown, and we really appreciate that. Samantha's checking in. Here's what she's drinking. She's drinking a Pepsi. And thank you so much for asking about Mama Jean. Mama Jean is recovering very, very well. She's 89 and she's been in and out of the hospital. She went to urgent care. She's recovering very well. And I'm going to tell you how good Mama Jean is doing. She's doing so good. She and Jan got together. And Mama Jean made a comment. She goes, you know what? We're not paid enough to be on this Let's Have a Beer social distancing club show on Friday nights, and we need to renegotiate our contract. So they are boycotting the show tonight, believe it or not, wanting to renegotiate their contract. Now, this is a cheap production. I mean, look, you got me. I begged guests to come on the show, and they're wanting more money. They are wanting more money to be on the show. Hey, there's our friend Renee Butler. Renee, what are you drinking tonight? We're excited you're part of the show too. So Mama Jean and Jan are renegotiating their contract. So I've got a lot of work to do between now and next Friday night to get this done. Hey, Scott Smallwood checking in. Get her done. Home for my project in Naples just in time. Well, Scott, thanks for working hard and joining us tonight. And that's what this is all about. It's a social distancing club. We kicked off when we kind of had to go into quarantine here in Polk County, Central Florida, and Lakeland. And we don't want to be socially distant. We are just socially distancing, still hanging out, having beers together, live music, lots of fun, and checking in with each other. All right, Lauren Frazier's checking in. Lauren, where are you at, man? He's on the river, Homosassa River. That's awesome. Uh-oh. Here's my wife. Jan is renegotiating her contract. Yes, you do. We need to give her some money. She's saying, yes, she wants some more money. So if you've got any ideas on how I can renegotiate Jan's contract and get Mama Jean, both of them on the show next Friday night, please comment. All right, Todd Brown is checking in. So excited. His youngest son, Jacob, is on the show tonight. Now, Jacob was on one of our first shows when we started Let's Have a Beer. And thanks to our friend Patrick Grady in Woohoo or Yahoo or Woohoo, Florida, wherever he lives, it's some weird name like that. His daughter played Jacob's song on Spotify, and it was like a light bulb moment. It's like, you know what? We need to have some live music. So we brought Jacob Brown back live, and he'll be with you here in just a little bit. All right. We've got a few people checking in here. Robin Farmer, thanks for joining us on Let's Have a Beer. Bush Light on the porch, watching TV or Beer 30. All right, Lynette Stone, thank you for checking in. Yes, everybody as well. We're just taking care of each other and be very, very cautious to make sure nobody gets sick. Phyllis Allen is bringing up something I really didn't want to talk about tonight. But yes, my black eye does look a little better here. Woke up Memorial Day afternoon after my nap with a black eye. Jan says, what happened to your eye? Who gives themselves a black eye during a nap? I'm not sure what happened. And I know Jan is wanting to renegotiate her contract to be on the show on Friday night. She's not that angry, but it is looking a little better. So Jan says, more money. I better hide that one. Not getting any money. I shouldn't let that one be shared. I thought we were doing really, really well this evening. Renee Butler says, oh, I don't need that either. If Renee Butler's your agent, I am going in the hole broke. Melanie Bell's checking in from Fort Meade. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you and your family are well, Melanie. Good to hear from you. And Todd Brown says it's Wahoo, Florida, where our friend Patrick Grady lives. All right. Thanks for joining us. Hey, let us know what you're drinking, and cheers. Let's have a beer. Hope you've had a great week. And we are going to have some fun here. Barry Gano, not your brother, checking in. One more. Barry is in West Virginia visiting his mother. And Susie Ball is here tonight. Thank you. Well, Jan, we'll talk, Renee. Okay. And Susie Ball checking in here too. We've got a great show. Jan says to renegotiate with wine. I may be able to do that because Publix does a lot of BOGO wine. Maybe that'll work. All right, on with the show tonight. Thanks for checking in. Ladies and gentlemen, we tried to get him on last week, but this guy is so popular all around the country. Chad Ward had nothing better to do tonight, so he checked in. How are you, buddy? Welcome back to the show.
Oh, man, Roger, that's too kind of an introduction. No, just had bad cell service in Atlanta last week, but finally had to get out of town. For a guy like myself that's on the road all the time, being home 10 weeks had been a bit of a challenge.
And we appreciate all that you do. Now, you're with Traeger. What's your official title with Traeger Grills?
I am the director of barbecue marketing for Traeger, which is a pretty awesome title, when it comes to business-wise.
So you pretty much tout Traeger around the country.
Yeah. So, before all this happened, I was traveling 250, 270 days a year, cooking for folks. And it was funny this morning. I've actually got a good story for you. I didn't even tell you about this pre-show. So I'm sitting here at my house, gym shorts, no shirt on, cooking bacon. And I get a Thomas
that way, Chad. You can get burned that way. That grease from that bacon.
Yeah, I like to ride the lightning, Roger. And I got my phone next to me, and Julie's here. She's out cooking meatloaf right now. And I was like, "Oh, you got to get me a shirt because my phone lights up. Thomas Rhett wants to FaceTime you."
See, that's what I'm talking about. You stooped way low to be on our show tonight.
So him and his dad Rhett were cooking a pork butt today. I just had a couple questions, this and that, but that's pretty funny. I didn't even think about the country music tie-in, but that's the kind of stuff I've had the opportunity to do with Traeger, and then just obviously talk about the brand, and then our store here, Whiskey Bent Barbecue Supply in Lakeland. We're the largest Traeger dealer in the Southeast, so it's really been a fun just all the way it's all came together over I've worked with Traeger for about 5 years, and the last 3 years of that, come July, will be as an employee and a spokesperson for them.
That's really cool. And Whiskey Bent Barbecue Supply here in Lakeland, you guys are open and you're practicing safe practices to make sure your employees and customers are safe.
Absolutely. And for us, I mean, that's of the utmost importance because all of our employees are firefighters.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So for us, it works out great. We get to help support the local first responders. It gives them a second job that they love. And plus, I mean, when it comes to firefighters, it's all about cooking. It's all about community. It's all about that kind of thing. So obviously we take it very serious with not wanting them to be able to take anything back out into the community. So it all just works well.
Well, thank you. And God bless them and their families. I bet you got some.
Well, first off, I've been texting with Jan and Mama Jean.
Well, here's Jan. Hi, Chad. That was very obvious a few minutes ago.
So we think we've got to operate at a wine that is above the $6 level.
I'm cheap, man.
So no more turning leaf, no more that kind of stuff. Like they're not asking for the top shelf, but maybe at Publix, if you're not on that bottom shelf, they're willing to meet in the middle.
Can I go BOGO?
If it's a good wine, like I bought Julie actually some BOGO wine the other day. They were doing a red wine, a barrel-aged red wine. And it's like a $13 wine, but it was BOGO. So I think Jan would be interested in hearing about that. And then also, maybe instead of burgers, you need to upgrade them to steaks.
I do steaks once a month. I'll give them.
Well, and maybe after the show, it has to be steak night.
Well, tonight we were actually having hot dogs after the show, Chad.
Well, that I can see why your talent's walking out, Roger. Good Lord. I mean, you're gonna cook them everything but the oink from a pig. I mean, come on. I mean, these are 2 jewels when you get to Jan and Jean, Mama Jean. So, I mean, you
Jan likes that one, Chad. She says, yeah, on that one. And she says, yes, we deserve better.
I will tell you what, it's like, hey, Jan and Mama Jean, if y'all need to unionize to make Roger increase what he's giving you guys, let me know. And I will help out however I can.
I think I'm going to have a full another beer right now.
Yeah, you better have a backup one because you've got to. You got something on your hands, old boy.
I do. I've got negotiations with my wife and my mother. Mama Jean is feeling better. You can tell she is. She's her ornery self.
Man, I am so happy
to negotiate.
And I will tell you, that black eye, I'm not going to say that Jan caused it, but maybe while you were sleeping, something kind of fell down there. A little bit of a wake-up call, hey, tighten up.
Maybe Mama Jean's cane, maybe.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it for sure.
And she ran out of the room. Hey, what you got on the grill for us this weekend, Chad Ward?
So we're going to be, speaking of steaks, and this is a great lead-in, just want to talk about steaks a little bit. And it doesn't matter if you're cooking a ribeye, a New York strip, top sirloin, whatever it is, whatever you like, whatever your budget allows. So many times, I mean, you've talked about this on the show before, Roger, on 97 Country, is everybody always learns, hey, you got to sear in the juices. Take that steak, season it up, and throw it on real high heat to sear in the juices. And there's nothing further from the truth. You're taking a very cold piece of meat and you're throwing it on at 500, 600, 700 degrees. When you do that, all that meat contracts and it destroys that cellular structure. So when you cut into it, you'll see that gray line all the way around it. What I want to talk to the folks tonight about is reverse sear. So you take that, whether it be on a gas grill, whether it be on a Traeger, whether it be on a smoker, you're going to want to be around 225 degrees. So if you got a gas grill, and let's say you've got a burner on the left, a burner on the right, turn your left burners on, maybe medium to medium high heat, and put your steaks over on the right. And let them slowly come up to temperature. Probably takes 30, 45 minutes, depending on the thickness of your cut. But you're looking for about 115, 120 degrees internal. Pull them off. Now crank it all the way up to as hot as it'll get, and then sear it off. What happens is that meat relaxes really, really well. And then as it's kind of slowly coming up to temp, and then you sear it off on both sides, and you get that gorgeous crust that we like on the outside. It's called the Maillard reaction for anybody wanting to sound smart at a dinner party. It's where proteins caramelize, but it gives us that crust we love, or those grill marks that you love, that kind of set a steak off. And then depending on how you like it, you can pull it off. For me, I'm a medium rare person, so pull mine off at 130. But if you like it medium, go another couple more degrees. And if you like it medium well or well done, don't run a steak, just cook a hamburger.
Hey, Chad, Samantha has a question. What temp for a wood pellet grill? And we'll invite anybody. If you've got questions for our barbecue king, Chad Ward, comment here on Facebook and he'll answer all your questions. So what temp for a wood pellet grill?
So Samantha, on this reverse sear steak, I'm going to do 225 for, like I said, 30 to 45 minutes until the steak reaches internal temperature of around 115. I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to turn that wood pellet grill to high, whether that be 450, 500. Once it gets there, give that grate a couple of minutes to get up to get hot, and then sear it off for maybe about, depending on the thickness, a minute and a half to 3 minutes each side until you get that finished temperature you want. Like I said, I'm a medium rare steak guy. That's going to be about 130.
Fantastic. Chad Ward, where can we find out more, buddy?
Oh, man, here on Facebook, Whiskey Bent Barbecue Supply. On Instagram, Whiskey Bent BBQ. And then, obviously, you can hit up the store website, whiskeybentbbq.com.
Thanks for checking in tonight. And please don't run off because you don't want to miss Jacob Brown coming up.
I'm looking forward to it, man. You know me. I love some good country music.
All right. Thank you so much. Chad Ward, ladies and gentlemen, from Whiskey Bent Barbecue. And she promised she was going to drop by. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, Crazy Terry. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Hey, well, I didn't do much, and I just kind of laid around, did nothing. I didn't even watch a lot of TV. I pretty much just watched my crazy family, and then My sister called after Labor Day to tell me what she'd done over Labor Day. Wait, it was Memorial Day. Lord, I don't know my days. What is
We
wrong
get
with
those mixed up all the time. Labor Day, Memorial Day.
so confused. I'm like, whoa, school's starting, but no. Anyway, so she called to tell me. I said, what'd you do on Memorial Day? And she said, well, I had a pool party. I'm like, well, Donna Lucille, you ain't got no pool. You live in the mountains up in the holler of North Carolina on a slope. I know you ain't got no pool. She goes, well, we invited all our neighbors over and they could bring their own inflatable pool. And then we filled them up and everybody could sit around in their own pools. They could bring their kids and do what they wanted to do. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If you're flying over, it looks like a big old twister set. I'm like, what are you doing? Crazy. So then I'm like, well, she goes, I didn't even have to clean my house because they didn't even go in. I'm like, well, how long were they there? And she's like, they're there like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, so nobody got up and went to the bathroom in 4 hours? That ain't a pool party. That's a pee party is what I'm telling you. Well, then she told me Angus's brother's baby had to have his diaper changed. And she goes, and you know what Angus's brother did? He put that baby on the grill and changed that baby. I'm like, oh my God, is that baby okay? She goes, Teresa, Terry, you know we ain't used that grill since Angus burned his eyebrows off. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. It wasn't really a bad thing because Angus had these big old eyebrows. He had skinny arms. He looked like a Muppet. I'm like, hey, you need to go live on street. Lord, this family, it's just crazy. Just crazy. I'm like, and so anyway, I said, you can't put that baby on a grill. It's got that little, it's not comfortable. She goes, don't worry. We put tin foil on it. I'm like, Lord, that baby's going to grow up and think he's a baked potato. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't know what to do with them, Roger. Lord. They kind, but they ain't smart. But it's okay. You know, I take the kindness, I guess.
Maybe that's why you're down here in Florida and they're up there, Terry.
I joined a smart state.
Yes, you did.
County, because we're smart here, Roger.
Like hey, we got a big shuttle launch, not shuttle, but a rocket launch tomorrow, SpaceX with men on board, astronauts.
My sister and I talked about that too. She said my nephew he's in the Air Force. And she said, well, now he can be in the Space Force. I said, no, he's in the Air Force. You can't just switch over to the Space Force. He has to finish up. And she goes, well, no, it's the same thing. I'm like, it ain't the same thing. Space is space and air is air. And she's like, no, because there's air in space. And I'm like, there's not no air in space. You think they're wearing a big old suit with a bubble head because there's air? They just be breathing on their own, don't you think? Feeling the breeze. She's like, well, I said, why do you think they wear those big old white suits if they don't have, you know, if they have air up there? And she's like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's going to scare the aliens. And I'm like, do you really think those white Stay Puft Marshmallow men with bubble faces and, you know, these stupid hoses from a vacuum cleaner sticking out of them is going to scare an alien? No, that's not going to scare an alien. She's crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? Lord, you know what? He's hanging in the Air Force by a thread. He ain't going to be in that Space Force. I can just tell you right now. There's those stars around that kid, but he is on another planet.
You had something to say about traffic here in Lakeland. You had a comment on Lakeland roads.
What are they doing on South Florida? They're calling it, you know what they're doing? They take a piece of South Florida down by Dixieland, in the land of Dixie. Anyway, so down in the land of Dixie, they're doing this thing called a road diet. And I take offense to that. I'm like, wow, even roads can't be curvy now, I guess. I guess they're all going to be straight. We're just going to go straight there and back because can't have no curves on a road.
That ain't no fun.
That's crazy. It's crazy, a road diet on South Florida. Everybody's going south, I guess. I don't know. It's craziness, Roger. What else is going on in your... Hey, you're talking about this contract. I didn't get a contract. You sent a napkin to me in a barbecue restaurant with your fingerprints over it. It said, are you doing anything on Friday night? And I'm like, wow, is this how you picked up Jan? Because that's crazy. No, I'm not doing anything on a Friday night because I'm over the age of 40. And you're like, hey, why don't you come do Facebook Live? No, you said, hey, you want to go live? And I'm like, well, I guess it's been going dead. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And so I didn't know there was a contract. Is that little barbecue nasty thing a contract? Because I threw it right away.
I'm just getting shish kebabbed on a Friday night.
Well, Roger, you know what they say. If the skew fits. I think Jan and Jean do need to negotiate their contracts. I think they do, and I think she needs to ask for more than wine. I think she also ask for some cheeks, because you know what? She's fancy.
She is fancy. She's good looking too.
She's pretty. You know what? You married up. We all know.
I did marry way up. I'm a very blessed man and lucky, and she really makes me look good on this show, and I've got to have her back next Friday night, Crazy Terry.
You know what, Roger? In every relationship, there's a reacher and a settler. You're the reacher and she's a settler.
So what else should I do to get her back on the show here? How should I renegotiate this thing?
Well, Roger, I can tell you how we do it up north in North Carolina.
Okay.
All right. Well, first we do it with some butterscotch moonshine, but I'm sure you don't have any of that. Not that you got a gift from me or anything, because I'm not saying we have a steal or anything. But Uncle
We would test that for you.
I would say some wine and some cheese and a cow. That's how we do it in North Carolina.
You hear that music?
Do I hear banjos?
Yeah, I hear banjos.
Well, that's kind of a family, Roger. Don't be talking down to them.
Hey, wine and cheese. Jan says, thank you, Terry. So that's easy enough.
Jan, girl, got your back. Lord help her.
How about Mama Jean? Because if I don't get this right, I'm going to cane upside the head and have another black eye.
You need to get Mama Jean an athlete. You know she likes her sports. I'm just saying.
What kind of athlete?
Vegas Island near Tampa there. You could corner them on the island. You couldn't go anywhere and push them on a boat and be like, hey, Mama Jean, look what the boat brought in. You know, he's from New England, so he ain't that smart. I'm telling you, that's what Mama Jean needs, an athlete.
Okay, we'll hunt for an athlete this week. If you spot any, let me know.
Lord, if I spot him, I'll let you know. He'll know. He'll know.
Thank you so much, Crazy Terry, for joining us this evening.
Ain't got nothing to do, Roger.
And Jan says Mama Jean likes Moscato and athletes.
I don't even know what a Moscato is. That sounds way too fancy. Is that like a Mexican restaurant?
It's got a long tail on it.
I don't want one in my house. I'll tell you right now. But if she wants a pet Moscato, give it to her. Just put it in a cage. That's crazy.
Can you hang around just a little bit, Terry?
Well, I ain't got nothing else to do, Roger. I ain't going to clean house on a Friday night. It makes me sound boring.
It is raining here in Lakeland, and you don't want to clean out. You've probably done that because you're in quarantine hiding in the bathtub from your family.
Well, I did clean out my mama's closet this weekend, and I made a joke like, hey, you got a skeleton in your closet? You know what she said? Well, yeah, I need you to get it out. I'm like, what? I went in there, shoved a skeleton. I didn't know what it was. I think it was a raccoon. Who has a raccoon in their closet and doesn't know it? I'm like, Lord, Mama, did you not hear noises? Well, one time I heard noises in your closet. What'd you think it is? Your clothes walking around? What are you doing? Oh, Lord. She said, well, I hadn't opened the closet since quarantine because I've been wearing my pajamas over there in the dresser drawer. I'm like, Mama, if you hear a noise in the closet, you need to open it. We don't need skeletons in our closet. We already have Uncle Leonard, and that's enough. I don't know. My family's crazy. I don't know how I turned out sane.
You're wonderful. Thank you, Crazy Terry.
Well, you're welcome, Mr. Negotiating Roger.
I negotiated pretty good with that greasy napkin. It worked.
Just because I don't have a life, Roger, doesn't act like you did something big. I'm like, it had barbecue on it. You were across the way with your sweet little wife and your lovely Mama Jean. You know I ain't going to say no to them because I think Mama Jean's in the mafia. I don't trust her because I think she could hurt somebody, but she looks real sweet. And everybody loves her. I'm like, no, I ain't going to do anything against Mama Jean, because I just ain't. She's got
It's yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
Yes, so I said, yes, ma'am, in a barbecue place. And here I am on my iPhone. And can you see me? I don't even know how to do this. All I do is see my eyes. Is this what you're supposed to do? Oh, my gosh, look at this.
You look great. I wish you'd get a little bit closer.
Roger, you're married. Stop talking like that. You're so crazy.
All right, Crazy Terry. Don't run off. Please don't run off, okay?
Roger, I ain't ran in 30 years. Don't worry.
All right. Hang out in the bathtub. We've got some great entertainment ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been waiting for this all week long. Here comes our friend Jacob Brown. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Thanks for coming on tonight. Where are you at? You're up in Bushnell?
Yes, sir. Bushnell, Florida.
And what's the weather like up there, buddy?
It is raining. Typical Florida. If it ain't hot, it's raining. There's never an in-between.
And we'd like to say thank you because tell us what you do for a living, Jacob.
I work for a power company on power lines and all the things that come with it.
Thank you very much. And God bless you, your family, and your team, because we know year-round you're busy through the storm. Storm season is coming up. You guys and gals are out there getting it done, so we have lights and AC and power.
Yes, sir.
Several weeks ago on Let's Have a Beer Here, your good friend Patrick Grady and his daughter said, I've got to play a song for you on Spotify. and it was one of your songs. What was that song, Jacob?
It was my first single that I've ever released. It's called Light On. And I just released it a little bit over a month ago. And I'm awful happy about it. I love the song, and the production on it was great. And I'm so glad that I finally got to put a song out, because I've been wanting to do it for pretty much as long as I could play and sing. I've been wanting to release music and put it out there and hopefully get it on the radio one day. And so that's coming to it.
Is that what you want to start with tonight? I don't want to control your playlist, but
No.
we want to hear some music. Are you going to start with that one tonight?
Yes, sir. I can do that.
All right, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Brown live on Let's Have a Beer. Can't wait to hear it, man.
And for those of you that don't know, this song is available on all streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of that. So once you hear this, if you want to listen to the recorded version, just go check it out. People come from far and wide to drop a tailgate on a four-wheel drive. They tie one on, if you know what I mean. Hey, there's only one thing that'll turn the tide from a sitting at home to a party all night. So raise your glass if you're with me, and we'll get our light on and have a good time with a bush or a bud on a Friday night. We ain't shutting it down till the sun comes up. We'll be getting it by Miller time, and you know Mick is a friend of mine. So go on ahead and fill up your cup. Well, it might be closing time at the end of this song, but we'll keep our light on. When the sun comes up and we call it quits, we head home for a little bit, get rested and ready for round two. Then we'll load it up and we'll ice it down. We'll take the long way out of town, so get locked and loaded for what we're about to do. And we'll get our light on and have a good time with a bush or a bud on a Saturday night. We ain't shutting it down till the sun comes up. We'll be getting it by Miller time, and you know Mick is a friend of mine. So go on ahead and fill up your cup. Well, it might be closing time at the end of this song. We'll keep our light on. So go on and get you another if you're finished with the other. Let's flip that switch and get our light on and have a good time with a bush or a bud on a Saturday night. We ain't shutting it down till the sun comes up. We'll be getting it by Miller time, and you know Mick is a friend of mine. So go on ahead and fill up your cup. Well, it might be closing time at the end of this song, but we don't care if it's closing time at the end of this song. We'll keep our light on. we'll keep our light on.
All right, Jacob Brown live on, I was going to say 97.5, but it's Let's Have a Beer on Friday night.
Maybe we can make that happen too one day.
You know what? Maybe that was meant to be said right there.
I agree.
Couple times in that song, Light On, you mentioned what's in your glass. We want to know what you're drinking tonight, Jacob.
As the line says, Mick is a friend of mine, and he is tonight drinking a Mick Ultra.
Cheers. Thanks for coming on the show. Sounding good. A lot of great comments coming across the screen there, buddy.
I seen a couple of them, and one of them I seen was my buddy McCoy Moore, who I co-wrote the song with.
And he was on the show not too long ago.
Yep, he definitely was.
Did a great job, as you are tonight. What do you want to do for us next?
Well, I think it's a treat just because there's only a handful of people that have heard these next two songs that I have planned to play. But the next one that I'm going to do, it is called Who I'm Gonna Be, and it is also an original, and it is currently in the making in the studio right now. I just got the rough mix back on the music, and I plan to go up and record the vocals, and that one will be the next one coming out pretty soon.
Your friend McCoy Moore has something to share with you. Say to you on the screen there, buddy.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. And this song, he also co-wrote. Me and him do some pretty cool things whenever we get together and we write. There's a lot of cool stuff that happens. Some stuff that we come up with that we may or may not have come up with if it was just us writing by ourselves.
Collaboration is a beautiful thing, Jacob.
It definitely is. I agree.
Can't wait to hear it.
This one is Who I'm Gonna Be. I've seen a lot of heartbreaks more than a time or two. I've been walking that street and there, a fine line between her and you. I'm reaching for the whiskey, one hand on the Bible, and I'm getting my best advice from a worn-out track gone by. Oh, girl, what you do is driving me insane. Like saying what we've got ain't gonna change, but something's gotta give or this cowboy will ride away. There's some things that a heart can't take, like holding you while you're playing these games. A love like that is what you want from me, but that ain't who I am, and it's not who I'm gonna be. Well, I've wasted too much time, lost all I had to lose. Well, I gave you all of me, why can't I just have you? I'm done looking past leaving. It's time for me to move on, so you better make your move, or I'll be getting gone, girl. What you're doing is driving me insane, like saying what we got ain't gonna change, but something's gotta give or this cowboy will ride away. There's some things that a heart can't take, like holding you while you're playing these games. A love like that is what you want from me, but that ain't who I am, and it's not who I'm gonna be. So you don't love me, and it's my time to go. If you wonder why thing you should know. The girl, what you're doing is driving me insane. Like saying what we've got ain't gonna change, but something's gotta give, or this cowboy will ride away. There's some things that a heart can't take, like holding you while you're playing these games. A love like that is what you want from me, but that ain't who I am, and it's not who I'm gonna be. Well, it's not who I'm gonna be.
Jacob Brown on Let's Have a Beer. Thank you so much. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Jacob. Who are you going to be?
Oh, well, I mean, if it were up to me, I'd love to be Jacob Brown that you go to a concert to see. But I mean, in all reality, if that doesn't work out, I plan to keep going in the career that I'm in, and be like my dad, which he's been in the utility industry for, I believe, over 32 years now, and he's the best man that I know. So if I can be half of that one day, I'll be pretty satisfied.
You're a blessed man, Jacob. And you were talking as we were getting ready for this show about you and he and who else played a show on Facebook Live as the pandemic hit.
Yep, me and my brother and my dad, we did a Facebook Live show, and it was pretty fun.
Well, thank you for giving back. Thank you so much for giving back. You know, you're a young artist. You're climbing. You've released a single. When I met you was at the FFA Lake Gibson Alumni Dinner. That was one of the last events here in Polk County before we all got closed down due to social distancing and safer at home. So what's it been like with your music since then? How do you keep motivated and keep writing and keep living your dream?
Well, with the way that things are going, we can't really go anywhere to play shows. Now it's kind of getting more lenient. If you're playing somewhere that's outside and people can stay far enough apart, you can. But as far as not being able to do anything for such a long time that it was, at least it felt like a really long time. I was kind of banking on everybody, being at home on the weekends and stuff like that. So whenever I posted something and when I released my song, that that it would do better, just because everybody, they can go stream it on their phone or on the computer, wherever they can get it on. But at the same time, I think that also put a damper on it as well, just because going out to places like, there's a couple bars that I know, the DJs that play there, and we like to go and line dance a little bit, and I know that whenever things open back up, they'll start playing it and stuff like that. So that will help me out whenever everything starts coming together. I plan to have some sort of gathering or party, if you will, for it somewhere, to celebrate it, just because it's such a big moment in my life, being able to release music.
Do you have another one for us?
I do, and this is also an original. This song is my grandpa's favorite song, because what it's about, well, not so much of what it's about, but where it's about.
Okay.
To North Carolina every summer since I was born, and my family's been going long before I was every year, and it's called Halfway to Carolina. And if there's one place I know that my grandpa could be, or Papa as I call him, it would be in the mountains all the time. So whenever I wrote this song also with McCoy and played it for him, that was it. That's the best song that he had ever heard, but mainly because of what it's about, and that his grandson wrote it, which made me feel good. But this is
Can't wait to hear it.
Carolina. And I'm gone, and I ain't ever coming back. I'm moving on a little further from my past. I'm getting better every mile that I go. And I'll be halfway to Carolina before she even comes back home. I worked 40-hour weeks just to come home and find her somewhere else. Wondering what went wrong, where she gone. Oh, I'm sitting here by myself. But now all I've got is Jack and Jim after finding out that she's with him. But none of that seems to matter now, 'cause I'm on the road and she's at his house. And I'm gone, and I ain't ever coming back. I'm moving on a little further from my past. I'm getting better every mile that I go. And I'll be halfway to Carolina before she even comes back home. And all the miles of empty highway in between. Whoa, my memory is all she'll ever see. When I wake up in the morning, I know right where I'll be. I'll be home. I ain't ever going back, and I'm done. And I'm so far from my past, but I got better every mile that I drove. And I'll be over her before she even knows. Now I'm back in Carolina, and she's just getting home.
Jacob Brown live. Let's have a beer. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Very talented man, and I'm sure you would never, ever want to break up to record $1 million number one hit.
Oh, that would be nice.
Well, we've really appreciated you tonight, and I've lost count. I'll be honest with you. I've had a couple blue moons. Have we done 5 songs, Jacob?
We've done 3.
So we've got a couple more left.
We do, if you want them, for sure.
We do want them. Where can we find you? I'm getting a lot of questions here on the comment section. Where can we find you and your music?
All righty. So if you're on Facebook, which obviously everybody is right now, if you go and search Jacob Brown Music, I have a Facebook page that I post all of my videos on, and also all of my events. So whenever things open back up and I start booking gigs, all of the events will be posted on there. So just go over to the Facebook page, Jacob Brown Music, and follow. And then on Instagram, it is @_ Jacob Brown Music. Somehow or another, there's already a Jacob Brown Music on Instagram, so I had to make my title a little bit different. So _
Well, my wife Jan is kind of missing out in here being in the room live. She said, "You're the next Luke Combs."
Well, I would like that very much. That would be awesome, and I appreciate that.
That's her loss and my gain. I guess we'll renegotiate that contract and see if she's back with us soon. Sandy Williams Fair says, "Where are the ladies?" Well, Sandy, thanks for checking in. They said they aren't coming on until they get more money. They're renegotiating their contract, so I didn't know what to do because I'm cheap. I call it thrifty. I'm cheap. I don't have a big budget for this show. Hey, Jacob, what inspires you to write? Is there a certain room, something you eat? Is it the middle of the night? What inspires you? Maybe there's something that really trips a light on in your brain to help you write? What is it?
Honestly, a lot of it has to do with collaboration. Like, for instance, Halfway to Carolina, McCoy, he came over to the house one day. That was actually the first song that I ever wrote. I don't think it was the first that he had ever wrote, but the first song that we wrote together also. And he came over and he was talking to me on the phone on the way over, and he was saying that he wanted to write something about North Carolina, about a girl, either a girl leaving or a guy leaving a girl, something along those lines. And that being one of my favorite places ever, it just that tripped a light into my head, and he had already been thinking about it, so it was a perfect mesh there. And then another thing, I was watching a movie, and it was I'm not sure what movie it was, honestly, now that I'm talking about it, but there was something sad that happened, some sort of breakup, and a song that I haven't finished yet. I think the movie finished at like 12 or 1 o'clock at night, and it tripped something on in my head, and I was up till 3 o'clock that morning until I about couldn't hold my eyes open, and I wrote half the song in about 20 minutes, and then was just trying to finish it, but I was too tired. I couldn't keep going, and I just haven't gotten back to it yet. But it's just random things that'll pop into my head, like certain hooks, like kicker lines for the song, that they'll just pop into my head if I thinking about something or hear something. That, honestly, some of them came from hearing other songs, made me think about something, and triggered a hook in my head. And so that's kind of, it's not specifically one place, just a bunch of different ones, which is a good thing, because you never know where it's going to come from.
Cool. We can't wait to hear your next song, Jacob Brown.
All righty. Well, I think that I have finished with my originals, and I'm going to do a couple covers. The first one is one of my favorite songs to sing, and it is "Cover Me Up" by Jason Isbell, it's been redone by a lot of artists, but the most recent, Morgan Wallen. I love his version of it, so here it is. Heart on the run, keeps a hand on the gun, can't trust anyone. Well, I was so sure what I needed was more. I tried to shoot out the sun. The days when we raced, we flew off the page, such damage was done. But I made it through, 'cause somebody knew that I was meant for someone. So girl, leave your booze by the bed, we ain't leaving this room till someone needs medical help and the magnolias bloom. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. So cover me up, you know you're enough to use me for good. I put your faith to the test when I tore off your dress in Richmond all night. And I sobered up and swore off that stuff forever this time. When the old lovers sing, I thought it'd be me who helped them get on.
I'd never seen till you came along. So girl, hang your dress out to dry. We ain't leaving this room. So Percy Priest breaks open wide and the river runs through. He carries his house on a stone like a piece of driftwood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. So gotta leave your boots by the bed. We ain't leaving this room. Just someone needs medical help or the magnolias bloom. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. So cover me up, and know you're enough to use me for good.
Jacob Brown live on Let's Have a Beer on a Friday night here in Polk County. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
If you could have a beer with any celebrity, you define celebrity. You could have a beer with any celebrity. Who would you like to pull up a bar stool with?
Oh man,
And why?
that is a tough one. Oh dang! If I had to pick a celebrity that is popular right now, I'll do that so that there's not so many to pick from. I would definitely say it would have to be between Luke Combs and Cody Johnson. And the reason for Luke Combs is because he seems like one of those people where he never meets a stranger, and he just by the way he does stuff, like he's got his own brand, or I don't want to say brand, but he's got his own Crocs. And if I could wear Crocs to work, I would, but I can't. So he just seems like he's got, or I have so much in common with him. And then Cody Johnson, just but his style of music, he's not really as mainstream country as Luke Combs or say Morgan Wallen, but his songs are just phenomenal. There's very few that I can't say that it isn't my favorite. There's just so many awesome songs, and he reminds me of, George Strait, Garth Brooks, the greats, and same with Luke Combs though. I mean, he's absolutely killing it and has been since he started. It's definitely an inspiration, honestly, to hear his story. And I mean, it's not relatively, it's easy to do it, but it's easy if you're lucky.
Well, Jacob, you keep on trucking because you're going to have a beer with both those guys. I can just feel it.
I hope so. I definitely do.
Love to hear another one tonight on Let's Have a Beer.
All righty. Well, I'll do one that has kind of a backstory to it. So my grandpa, or Papa, I should say, on my dad's side of the family, he passed away before I was born, and I didn't really know a whole lot about him, but I always liked the song Blues Man by Hank Jr., and my dad told me that was one of his favorite songs. And So before I ever really played in front of people, I learned that song, and I would sit in my room and I'd practice it and play it. And if somebody walked in while I was playing it, I would get all upset because I still wasn't sure how I felt about people hearing me yet. So my sophomore year in high school, we had a project in English class, and it was any form of poetry that you wanted. You picked a poem or a song, whatever it may be, and you presented it in front of the class however you wanted to. And they said that if it's lyric poetry, that you could sing it if you wanted to, or you could just read the words. Well, I figured that it was about time that I came out of my shell and played in front of people, and my parents both convinced me. So that was the first song that I ever played in front of a crowd of more than 4 or 5 people. And it was an entire classroom, and I was scared to death. Absolutely scared to death, but it started a chain reaction that I haven't stopped since. So I'm really, really almost in debt to this song, because if I hadn't liked the song so much, I might not have chosen that song, and I might not have played anything that day. And but this is Blues Man by Hank Jr. Well, I'm just a singer, a natural born guitar ringer. I'm kind of a clinger to sad old songs. I'm not a walk behind her. I'm a new note finder, but my name's a reminder of a blues man that's already gone. So I started drinking, took things that messed up my thinking. Well, I was sure sinking when you came along. I was alone in the hot lights, not too much left inside. But you came and changed all that one night. You sang me this song. Well, hey, baby, I love you. Hey, baby, I need you. Hey, baby, you ain't gotta prove to me that you're some kind of macho man. You wasted so much of your life running through the dark nights. Let me shine some love light down on this blues man. Well, I got so sick from speeding, all that stuff they said I wasn't needing. If I was to keep pleasing all of my fans, well, I got cuffed on dirt roads. Well, I got sued over no shows, but you came and took all that old load down off this blues man. Hey, baby, I love you too. Hey, baby, I need you. Hey, baby, I do get tired of this traveling man. Well, I'm 30 years old now. Not really. Nights would be cold now if you hadn't stuck it out with this blues man. Well, I'm over 30 years old now. But nights sure would be cold now if you hadn't hung around
this blues man.
Jacob Brown live on Let's Have a Beer. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Hey, our friends Crazy Terry and Chad Ward are still hanging around, and I think Chad had something he would like to share with you here.
What's
Hey,
up, Chad?
hey, Jacob. How you doing, man? Love the music, love the originals, love the covers. Just quick story I wanted to share with you, and it's kind of like
I can't.
it kind of talks
hear
about
him,
that
Roger.
dream and that passion and following it. About 8 years ago, I'm just getting into competition barbecue, and I'd won this little itty bitty wing contest in at the Winter Haven Airport. And I think 97 Country used to be a sponsor of it, Roger. And so the next year I come back and they say, hey, we want you to cook for the green room for the musician. And long story short, walk in there and it's Michael Ray. And so me and Michael get to talking, feed him some chicken wings, blah, 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 blah. Well, about 2 years ago, because of my job with Traeger, I get connected to Michael through a guy named Tim Montana, which Roger had on his show not too long ago. And we're talking on the phone, and I get him a grill, and a couple months later, I'm in Nashville, and I'm in Michael Ray's house, and we're cooking together. And he goes, "Dude, do you remember when you were just a barbecue guy, and I was just a guy playing a wing festival for 100 people? And now we've both found our passion. We both we get to do what we love as a living." And I would say for you, and I see your buddy McCoy in there that you songwrite with, dude, keep chasing it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. To me, it's just awesome to have that passion and that ability to be able to play music like you do, but you got to look for that break and you got to have that opportunity. And I just wanted to share that story.
Jacob, did you hear anything Chad said?
I unfortunately did not. I can hear it a little bit from my parents' phone in the living room.
Basically, he said, keep chasing your dream. You sound great, man.
Well, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I heard it.
And we're going to bring Crazy Terry in here, too. We're just about ready to wrap up the show, guys and gal. Anything, final parting words for this Friday evening?
Well, I'm going to tell you how you're going to negotiate your contract with your women. I had too much Corona. I'm just going to tell you, not the virus. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to tell you how to do it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm writing it down.
I think you can get Tom Brady. I know he's married, but his wife's a supermodel, and I'm just saying she's really, really thin. Do you know why she don't stick her tongue out?
Why?
People think she's a zipper. I'm just kidding. I know that's mean. She's a beautiful zipper. Don't get me wrong. So you could do that for Mama Jean. Now, I have the best thing you can do for Jean. You can do chocolate, wine, and cheese. And
So,
if you need to make her some pretty jewelry, guess what? I got some possum bones for you and some raccoon bones. They make some fine earrings. I'm here for you, Roger. I'm here for you.
Well, we appreciate that, Crazy Terry. Thank you for coming on in your bathtub live on a Friday night. Now you got to go back to your family. I'm sorry for that.
Lord, I hope they're drowning in the Tiger King and Netflix, and I don't have to deal with them. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw a big old cat on them while they're watching it.
And we're going to talk about that next Friday night. Chad Ward, thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. Have a great weekend.
And Jacob Brown, you're awesome. Good luck, buddy. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everybody have a great weekend. Be kind. Please love virtually on somebody. And we will catch you next week on Let's Have a Beer. Have a good weekend. Be safe. We love you all. Thank you very much.